morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. Welcome to another pre-match carnage. This time, pre-match carnage is Spurs versus Liverpool. Another league game, battle for a game that probably both clubs were thinking we're going to be fighting for the title or close to the title. But actually, I can't speak for the Spurs people. I'm going to speak for the Liverpool people. We are where we are, and this is a massive game in the race for top four as far as we're concerned right now. So we're going to have loads of chat, loads of fun. Guys, as you're walking into the stream, walking or sitting, however you're coming into the stream, hit a like, subscribe if you haven't, all of that good business. Joseph Tyrell says, big win for the cricket Grizz. Looking forward to the game of the weekend. Hopefully 3 points after a good result in Champions League in the week. You know, because just like Liverpool, Pakistan have burst my bubble in cricket as well. Liverpool in the football and Pakistan in the cricket. Yeah, I'm dead when it comes to support, man. I don't know, man. I'm watching that funky program that Toby told me about, man. That House of Dragons and shit. I'm watching that these days, man.
Calma. Respect.
No, House of Dragons. No, House of Dragons. No, it's not Game of Thrones, bro. It's not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but it's still good.
Not. See, I don't.
Are we doing outlandish things already?
So what is it? Have I said anything blasphemous?
Season 1 to season 1, it might even be better than Game of Thrones so far.
Oh, you're insane. You're going there.
You're insane.
You're insane.
You're insane.
Yeah, I'm backing you. You're insane.
We can turn this into a House of Dragon Game of Thrones thing if you want.
When it comes to Westeros and Essos, that's my bad.
Hey, some aside. The extra.
See what I'm saying? Now, see what I'm saying? See, these are supposed to be my guests on my channel, yeah? And they're turning there. They're my guests. Yeah, you can see how they can on. Zuberi's probably thinking, what the fuck is this House of Dragons and Game of Thrones? Is it?
I'm locked in, you know. It's a while. Huh? I'm locked in. Oh yeah, man, I'm locked in.
See?
Okay.
But the thing these men are going on is Game of Thrones kind of pulled our leg with the dragons. They took like 5 seasons to bring the dragons. House of Dragons bring them out the gate. So these men are just dragon fans.
Okay, that's what it is, huh?
Okay,
it is dragon fans, man.
Straight to the business.
Yeah, they're just.
We're gonna come on.
That's it.
We're gonna come on to dragons and Conte and stuff. You know what I mean? Later on, you know what I mean? But Cav, man, I don't know if you're into Game of Thrones, man, or House of Dragons.
Yeah.
You as well.
Wait, Game of Thrones, I'm all over, but I haven't started House of Dragons because I like to wait till it finishes the season, then watch them all in a go. So yeah.
I'm like that as well, but Toby like dragged me into it. Like every night he'd be messaging like, "This is sick," you know, like a little kid. Like this is too much. This is too much. So I wanted to check what's too much. Like, it's not Game of Thrones. It's not Game of Thrones,
but it's good.
It didn't work. I couldn't wait. I was running in there. Season 1 episode when I was in there. I couldn't wait.
Same.
You guys.
I tried to take Cav's route of building it up. As soon as I seen people tweeting, I saw it took a couple tweets. I was in.
Okay, well you got people are backing you already, or someone not saying forward with the bad takes already. You know what I mean? There's Agri, then there's Toby nerd behavior. I'm not even like how are they calling it? How are they switching the nerd shit on you, man? House of Dragon. How do you say that? Viserys arc is better than Game of Thrones.
Not really.
Serious?
Not really.
Okay, but it is what it is. Yeah, man. Big up yourselves, people in the chat. There's over 100 of you already in here. You already know pre-match carnage is your big build-up show. It seems like we're doing a build-up show every other day because we are. All teams, mostly all the top teams are playing every other day. Come to you, Zuberi, first because I know you get upset when we play well because your standards, I don't know, they're weird. One day you're going to explain. I don't know. I'm going to give you a chance to explain.
Unattainable, Grizz. That's what they are.
I know. But how are you feeling after the qualification Champions League? We're into the knockout stages. We didn't quite win the group, but we still beat a very, very good Napoli team.
Yeah, it's good to get in there, you know. I seen Atletico crashing out. So it was good we didn't crash out because we're not looking so good in the Prem. And to be fair, when we don't look good in the Prem, you know, we normally do good in the Champions League. So it's something to hang our hats on. I'm going to be honest. So it's good. I'm feeling good. It's in a good moment. A lot of takeaways from that game. But, you know, I'm the only one concerned about those when we win, obviously, but it's all right.
It gives us something to look forward to, innit, Cav? Like the Premier League seems like it's gonna just be the death of us. This way, we've got something to drive towards. Like February, we can keep hope alive. We can keep going. We don't know what state we're in February. Injuries coming back, maybe the odd signing. It's something to look forward to, innit? And obviously we've got heritage in this competition.
Yeah, exactly. The Champions League's been a shining light in what's been a really dark season for us so far. Like, we've put in some good performances, we've got some convincing wins, we've seen some better player performances and team performances. We've done well, you know, following on from what was a really a hammering from Napoli first game week. We've done well in our group, and we've come out convincingly. Like you say, come February, we might be in a better place to then push on and go far in that competition. But it's not translating to the league, is it? And that's the disappointing thing. I was, you know, we did the post-match Napoli. We were both happy, but we were saying, look, just enjoy the moment. And the thing is,
because you don't know what's going to happen 2 days later. That's the shit with us right now.
Exactly. But the moment's not past. We can maybe have another day. We can have today, and then Saturday, Sunday, it's business time again. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy the victory still. But what did it prove? Okay, it proved we can beat a top team on our day. We know that. But Spurs is different, which we're going to talk about. Spurs
is different. And I want to come to my guests, of course. Should have introduced them, but they don't need an introduction. So I hope they didn't mind. Fuad and Toby in the building, my apologies, but you already know their family in it. So it's all good. It's not their first time. So, Tobes, season so far. Very quick overview of your season so far. Your man, Antobio. You know what I mean? How you feeling? Same feeling when you hired him? Okay, everyone to a man, woman, dog, cat, squirrel knew Antonio Conte is the biggest coup in your, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in your at least the very recent history, possibly of all time. This is one of the elite managers coming to your club. Has the feeling changed about him in any way, shape, or form?
From me, no. From some parts of our fan base, definitely yes. There were some
reasons for that.
Yeah, the reasons for that is because the football's not really been as potent as it was towards the back end of last season. So the second half of the campaign last year, we turned the real corner and we were playing some really good stuff, putting lots of goals past teams and generally winning matches. I think this season we've been able to sort of maintain the same level. We've been able to maintain the same sort of consistency when it comes to the results, but the performances have not been anywhere near as good. We still managed to score goals because we have goals on our side, and we've managed to find new ways to score goals. I think we scored 9 goals from set pieces this season. We never used to score from set pieces before, but the flip side of that is we've looked less convincing in open play in won too many matches this year, and sometimes, especially when we played the big teams, this season, it's been too withdrawn, too negative. So that's probably why people are sort of hesitating on Conte. But me personally, the faith hasn't gone. But I'd be lying if I said that he hasn't pissed me off a couple times this season and hasn't made mistakes.
Fuad, same question to you. How are you feeling now as opposed to when you got him? What is it? He had half of last season or quarter?
Yeah. He had 60%, 65%, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, but that was a settling period. We know you don't judge nothing like that. You need at least 3 to 4 windows. So he's had 1-2 windows only, right? Mm-hmm. You've done quite a bit of action in that in them windows. But okay, I don't know. Well, exactly. Answer that. You don't think enough. Obviously, it's never enough. But on the back of everything that you've done, are you as patient as Toby as well right now, or is there inklings of doubt or anything long term?
No, I'm as patient as I was a year ago when Conte came. And
Okay.
even when the summer window had closed, I think Conte, the first press conference out of it, said we're still 2 or 3 windows away from the top side of where we want to be and where we want to challenge. And for me, I think a lot of people, where Conte does have to take some blame, I think, is the persistence with certain personnel, which are fundamentally breaking down his system. And I feel like his system with the back three is a very specific one. You don't play the back three unless I feel like you have good wing backs or good ball playing defenders. And I feel like right now it's almost square pegs into round holes because we're kind of fitting, I feel like, players who aren't really there or aren't of the quality to kind of play his system. And then it's that persistence with the bad formations in certain games and the bad players, in my opinion. That's where there's some frustration. But overall, what he's done from where we were last year in the Conference League, getting embarrassed by NS Mora, that was one of his early games in charge, to where we are now, having just qualified in our Champions League group into the last round of 16. You can say the football's not pretty, but there have been substantial kind of improvements in the players we've been able to attract. I think the likes of Kulusevski and Bentancur don't come if Conte's not here. I think the fact that you can say we've got a bit of resilience about us, where in certain games against Chelsea, against City, even in midweek, where we're fighting till the last minute to actually win games and win results. So for me, it's like, if he's going to bring that little bit of mental resilience, which is something I think people have always accused us
crying out for,
accuse us of lacking, I'll take that in the short term if it means we'll get that. If it means I have to suffer for a little bit of ugly football. And the thing is I don't think Conte's intentionally going out there to play the ugly football. I just think he doesn't have the pieces, which was where my frustrations with this summer window was, where I felt like we were taking a gamble on guys like Jed Spence, in a championship talent who no less could potentially be a good player, but you've got to take time to adapt to the Premier League, Conte's system, just taking that step up in general. And I felt like we should have got a ready-made replacement like we did with Perisic on the right-hand side. I think every Spurs fan will tell you the left centre-back position, we've been needing more than one centre-back, I would say, for 2 years. Yeah. We haven't had a creative midfielder since Christian Eriksen has left. That was 2.5 years ago. Like Tobes is saying, we've been scoring from set pieces, but it's only because Perisic has come in who can actually whip a half-decent ball, and we've got a set-piece coach in who's benefited from that. But prior to that, good Lord, Harry Kane and Son were hitting free kicks and corners that couldn't beat the first man or the wall. So it's like fundamental things needed to be addressed in the summer, and I didn't feel like they were addressed. And people can throw names like Richarlison, Lenglet, and Forster, and Bissouma even. Bissouma, when you look at it, was a coup for 25 mil, but we already had Bentancur, we had Højbjerg, we had Skip. Like, that wasn't a profile we were exactly missing. I just felt like it was something we took advantage of. But Richarlison, you could say we needed, but was he ever going to break that front three for that type of money? I didn't think so. So for me, I felt like right wing back, left centre back, there were things we needed to address, and those not being addressed is why we're playing the way we're playing.
We're gonna have a look at your incomings very quickly. We're gonna talk about your outgoings. Tobes, very quickly. I don't think there was anything that you minded in terms of these guys leaving your club, right? Or was there something that you was thinking, oh, we could have worked with him?
No. Every single player, I know every single player that left needed to leave, to be honest.
Okay, so we know Romero and Kulusevski are there because they were on loan, so ignore that, obviously.
Romero's one got turned into permanent. Kulu,
exactly, yeah. But out of the ones that you got money for, let's just say, or basically the first 5, they're the names that kind of were in and around your squad last season. I'm assuming both of you were glad to see the back of them, or what I'm saying is, was there anyone in there that you said, no, man, we could have done something with that?
Nah, even in Dom, I love in Dom, but
you gave up on Dom.
Yeah, like it's not even giving up. It's just like, you just know it's not working at Spurs. It's not going to work here. Not with this manager, not with this team. You've been here 4 years. You've been a bust. You've been a stone cold bust, if we're being honest. So yeah, there was no one on that list that I was sad to see the back of. I think probably the main grievance was, if Reguilon is being shipped out, why the hell was Ryan Sessegnon being kept? That was my main beef with this. Like, why is I can getting rid of Reguilon if you want to upgrade, because I think Perisic is an upgrade going forward, but why are you keeping Ryan Sessegnon? He's the worst of the lot, and he was retained.
Sergio Reguilon, Cav and Zuberi, I don't know if you guys know much of him, see much of him. I was looking at him as a Liverpool understudy a couple of years ago. We were actually linked with him, and I was like, oh, Spurs have got a little hot one here. He just fell off as well. I mean, I don't know. Was it I don't know which coach bought him, Andy? Was it
Jose?
The Jose? Was it Jose?
Jose.
Yeah, Jose brought him in.
It was a loss of form. It was injuries. There were so many kind of factors that played into it. But he even played himself out of the side to the point where
take her up.
At that point, Sessegnon kind of just had the form.
I done the wrong thing, man. I put my mute. I turned the camera off and I left the thing on, man. You know that shit happens, man. Lord,
you old man.
Shut your mouth, you old man. Shit happens sometimes, innit? But still take her up. But yeah. Sorry, my bad.
I'm sure
I even covered my mouth. Fuck that.
We got Destiny Udogie who's coming through next season, so he's going to be a big one. But I'm kind of curious to see him push Sessegnon out, which is why I'm baffled why he's even been retained, in my opinion. But we move.
It's interesting, isn't it? We often associate Mourinho to get hold of defenders or up and coming defenders and really make them into world class. It didn't quite happen with the likes of Reguilon and a couple of other names on there. Cav, your memory of the end of Mourinho and sort of obviously then they went to what's his name, the Wolves manager for a small period, didn't they? I've got his name. My mind's gone blank. Nuno Espirito. Conte was the perfect fit for them after that, wasn't it? In terms of big name, knows how to win trophies.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, right? I totally understand why you would want Conte, and he comes in and he puts together a good starting 11, a core 13, and you hope to get in the trophy, which is obviously going to be massive for Spurs with going so long without one, and secure top four. That's the hope, right? But having been supporting a club that's had a manager for so long and built a system and a style of play over so many years, I'm kind of on that train. So when Conte come in, I'm like, if he comes in and he has like immediate success, achieves top four, and maybe wins any of the other trophies, right? Doesn't have to be the big two, but wins any of the others, domestic cups, that's great. But if he stays for 3 years, what happens after that? You know, I think if he gets the players in that he wants and he plays this sort of pragmatic football, it will only last for so long. And then when he goes, you're left with these players. Now, you will have some good players in there. But for me, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd have liked to have seen somebody coming in that plays more of a attractive brand of football. Yes, you might have lost that immediate success, but I think it would have like built a better sort of future. I mean, they've got the new ground now and everything else. They're a much more attractive proposition for players to come in. I totally understand the whole Conte thing, but I would, if I was a Spurs fan, and it's easy for me to say on the outside, I would have liked a manager coming in that played a better style of football, attractive style of football, and a football that could be carried on through another manager coming in for maybe 7, 8 and years ahead, as opposed to the immediate 3. So I'm a bit torn on the whole Conte thing, to be honest.
Go on. I was going to say that because I don't agree with the whole like Conte plays it like a counter-attacking football. Because
I agree. Same.
They scored heavy. You look at us last year when he came in, we were one of the highest scorers in the Premier League
as well. Juventus, Italy.
You look at Chelsea, Juventus, like, and even you were saying like, what would he build more than kind of 2-3 years? I think with Jose, I would have kind of understood that rhetoric more. With Conte, I literally saw him build Juve from the mud into the machine that they were, that everybody gives Allegri credit for. So in my personal opinion, I think once you give Conte the tools he wants, he actually goes and builds you a winning machine. The problem is his standards are so high, he's always seen as like a militant. And one thing I clocked with managers who are quite militant, they're always seen as like, their football's pragmatic. But if you look at the actual numbers and records at every team he's been at, he plays good goal scoring, high goal scoring football. And I think what his football is efficient and tries to get the team to be as winning as possible. And it doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes it'll be ugly. And I think we're in a phase, as I said, we don't have those tools to give him the high efficiency, if you like. Where this is like the new manager bounce. This season, I feel like we've regressed a little bit in that aspect. Yeah. And let's be honest, we've got Kulusevski out, who's been our creative force as well. And it's like our wing backs are failing us as well. So I don't know.
Do you just think, given the tools, then that he could probably transition between playing on the counter when he needs to and then being on the front foot when he needs to? Do you think he's got that
He did it last season.
capability of that?
Last season, we went from a 3-4 sometimes switching to a 5-3-2. So it was like it became almost literally a 3-4-3 or a 5-2-3 type of thing. So for me, I've seen it within our team, not only in the last 12 months, but at other teams as well. So the proof is there.
But
can I ask one thing as well then, Tobes? Oh, sorry, go on, Tobes. Go on.
Because I was gonna say, but I think that's where I feel like I do agree that like Conte's football when he's got all these pieces, it's way better than what we've seen this season. Like I don't think he's intending for Spurs to be this bad.
But this is what I was gonna say. But this is what my point was gonna be.
The point I'm gonna make is I don't think, but I also think that's letting him off the hook too easy, because a manager of Conte's caliber, he had us playing better football with a worse squad last season. Yes, albeit on one game a week, he had us playing better football with a worse squad.
I was just about to say.
For me, I think this season he has to take accountability for how we're playing, because yes, you may not have the perfect squad. Yes, we made mistakes in the window, but you have players at your disposal for the product that we've seen this season to be better than what we've seen, and that's down to him. I think with him, he's too stubborn. He plays players that shouldn't be picked, and then he has a set way of playing, and he puts players that don't fit that philosophy, and they
square pegs in round holes.
Exactly. And
on that right wing back the last couple of games.
That right wing back, Emerson at right wing back, playing Davison Sanchez, not utilizing Basuma and Skip early on into the season, not dropping the likes of Son and playing Richie on the left, sticking Richie on the right, dropping Kulusevski. Like Conte's made a lot of mistakes in the lineup this season, I'll be real. So even though it's been good results wise, even though like he's completely transformed our fortunes, I think he has enough at his disposal with this squad to be playing better than we have done this season. I'm not saying that it should be swashbuckling football, but it should be better than what we've seen this season.
I want to have the final say on that in a minute. But Zuberi, your thoughts on Antonio Conte, because I know you like your pragmatism. I don't know, but I think you're a Conte fan. I haven't asked you before, so I'm taking a wild guess here.
I went out on a limb and backed him and said he's never got the team to actually back him in his philosophy. And I think Tottenham are trying to do that because they're doing the smash and grab thing. After Conte, where do Tottenham go? That's a big question. After Conte, where do Tottenham go? So I think they're the team to give him the opportunity he's always been looking for. He's always been like short-term success. He's never had like a long-term project, 3 to 5 years, really building something, turning the machine. But I'm with Toby on this, man. He has to stand up. Managers need to stand up and be like, I messed up. I don't care if it cost them their job. You need to say that, bro. You can't just chop and change things, don't make sense. And when it goes right, you're like, I did that. When it goes wrong, you're talking about, he was dead. He wasn't the right guy. They're not of the level, their mentality. He's doing the Jose thing. It's a cop-out. When manager take risk and it don't pay off, they need to stand up on that. Because when they take the risk and it pay off, they're beating their chests out here like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he's not the greatest thing. And what he's had, I think
one of the greatest level right now.
Say again?
He's one of the greatest managers in world football.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because then I'm going to ask you about sort of in terms of the European. But look, talking about tools and at his disposal, this is the business that you guys done, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of you brothers, talk to me through your business. So I don't need to go down the list. We'll just concentrate on the top of the list because obviously the big boys, so to speak. Well, let's go up to Fraser Foster and upwards, innit? So Fraser Foster is just obviously a standard. Just get him in there, right? That's my
we needed a backup goalkeeper. There was nothing wrong
exactly.
With that.
Perisic.
Nothing wrong with that one. At the on surface, it looked like a good signing on a free transfer. Really good signing.
Fuad, only jump in if you disagree, and obviously if you want to say something on something. In fact, I'll come to you for the next one. This is the mystery, isn't it? This is the mystery. This is what we want to know. What happened here? You're mute.
This was a signing for me that turned the window personally, where I was like,
if
going a good window to, what direction are we going? Because Jed Spence strikes me as another Ryan Sessegnon, We're going to have to build him up. We might see the best version, ready-made Spence in about 2 years or 3 years. Not now. And really and truly, as we just said, Conte is a right-now manager.
Right-now manager.
Contract is running out end of the year. Why the hell are you going to give him a kid? And the worst thing is, as soon as he signed, what does Conte do first press conference? This is a club signing. I had nothing to do with this kid. And ask yourself, how many minutes has Jed Spence played? As we just said 2 minutes ago, Ryan Sessegnon is being trialed out at right wing back. That's how much Conte rates Jed Spence, and that's how much that transfer has turned out to be.
But do you not think that that's an indictment on Conte?
That's an indictment on the club for getting involved. That's an indictment on Paratici as well. I'll be honest with you. And one thing I'll say to you is when it comes to us and signing youngsters, we have not been doing it well over the last couple of years, bro. You look at Malang Sarr's situation, you look at Brian Gill's situation, you look at Sessegnon, and that's happened back to back to back years. And I thought this year was going to be like, all right, we've done the foolishness for the past 3-4 years. Let's get to serious business. We've got Conte, we've got Champions League, we've got 150 million, and we say, okay, here's another kid.
But this is what I was going to say. But this is what I was going to say. No, Tobes, leave it in it. Like, have this in your own private group, in it. Like,
no. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying.
You are, man. You're doing one of them ones, innit?
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying the fact. The club won't sign a player that Antonio Conte doesn't want.
Well, so this is what I was going to say. This is back to Zuberi's. This is what I'm going to bring it back to Zuberi's point, where sometimes, and us Liverpool fans have been saying the same about Klopp. Tobes, hear us out. This is where we've been saying the same about Klopp, because if your manager, and he's a big boy, like Klopp is a big boy, like Pep is a big boy, Conte is a big boy. If your club are doing things that even remotely the coach is not agreeing with, especially someone that's trying to lay the foundation down, then Zuberi's right. This is where Conte either needs to accept his mistake or make a noise about it. You can't just take a player for 13 million and then play Sessegnon right back, or whoever he's been playing. He's been playing all sorts at right wing back. Not even give him a chance. It makes no sense. That's the thing that's confusing. But look, in terms of destiny, yeah, man, everyone knows about him. He's going to be, not everyone knows about him, but he's going to be something special. Maybe something could have been done there in terms of bringing him in early. Or I don't know what the system is. What is the system? What is the situation with him? Loan? What is it?
Apparently, they wouldn't have.
Were released in this season. Okay.
If we didn't give them the option to loan him back for another season. But again, listen, destiny looks cold, but I have to ask again, what's the difference between destiny and Jed Spence?
I'll tell you the difference. And I'm not even a Spurs fan.
Go on.
Conte wants destiny. You can tell Conte's been seeing him, Serie A, etc. He don't know Jed Spence. Now, that is, you could criticize Conte saying, well, you should know about all footballers in all countries and all leagues, whatever.
No, you shouldn't. He's a manager. It's a scouting's job. It's a scouting department's job to find players that suit what the manager wants.
But going up to your big boys, you know my thoughts on Richarlison. Me and you got a little charity bet, no money exchange, like friendly bet about Richarlison, you know. But again, Romero, a great signing. Yves Bissouma, I thought a great signing. But obviously that reaction from you guys tells me underwhelmed or not given a chance, or what is it, a tactical thing?
Again, blame Conte.
Zuberi was right.
Blame Conte. That's why
there was a suggestion that he's in training, he's not putting the work in. Is that true, or?
It's not that he's not putting the work in. Conte said that he wasn't adapting to what he was asking of Bissouma tactically, which is understandable. He's a manager. He has a set way of playing. Bissouma has to conform to that way of playing. But what my beef was here is that by you not giving him any sort of minutes at all, by you not giving him minutes to try and real life minutes to try and actually get accustomed to the way you want to play, get a feel of this team, build up some chemistry with the players, you're just basically freezing him out. And then now, when we actually need him and we put him into the team and he's able to start 3, 4, 5 games in a row, the performances they're not bad. They're not all bad, but they're not like the Bissouma we know, because he's just not had the momentum.
Of course. And again, I'll use the Conte and Klopp comparison. Klopp and Conte are probably two of the most sort of meticulous in midfield coaches out there. They want their midfielders to do particular jobs, and to detail. We all saw it, Zuberi and Cav, with the Gini, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and Henderson. Like, everyone thought three of the same, like boring shit. Spurs fans are probably thinking Højbjerg, Bentancur. No, these guys know exactly to the exact instruction what Conte wants from them. And it's going to take time, right? Even looking from the outside, us Liverpool fans, it's going to take time, right, guys, for Conte to implement every single thing that he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think like I think he will be a success. I think by the time he leaves Spurs, I think they'll look back and they'll say, yeah, he's a success there. But like, I suppose it begs the question with like Man City in the league and the rise of Newcastle and the amount of money in the league and the teams that you've got in there, how successful a short time manager can be. You know, somebody coming in, do you believe that Conte, say he stays for 3 years, do you believe in that third year he could really challenge for, say, like a title? I don't know if it's long enough nowadays. I feel like you perhaps need more time and more windows, because you've got the likes of Man City that are just got the wealth behind them. Their recruitment's good now. You know, they've got that team, they've got the depth. And I think to sort of achieve 90 plus seasons, you need time and windows to really build and then experience the team together collectively. I don't know if 3 years is enough.
I think Arsenal are showing that to an extent this season, that if given time and you can build the right pieces and you back a manager correctly in his vision, you can get to those. I think Liverpool have shown it in recent years as well. If you back the manager in the right aspect of what he wants in his vision, he can give you that. And I think Conte, his track record speaks for itself. I think, as we said at the start, it's almost like a gift that walked into Spurs' house after the Nunez situation and the Jose situation. We couldn't have wished for anything more. So for me now, for us to kind of spurn this opportunity, I feel like we have to go all in all honesty. Whether it's the club turns into a Leeds situation where we're broke after this, I don't care. As long as I know we went all in for this guy. And in my opinion, I think it will come good. We will be challengers if you give Conte 2-3 years and you back him in every single window. None of this pussyfooting around half-hearted. Well, yeah. If you do that within 2-3 years, I promise you, I see us as realistic challengers, in my opinion.
I've said that, and even though they came through a bit of it's not even a rough patch they came through. It's just it's not even a rough patch. It's just a performance. It's just so many games, Champions League, Premier League, Champions League. He hasn't got his squad.
It's a bit of a rough patch.
And you're still third, and you're still qualified. Shout out to my boy Sasito. Yeah, man. See you Sunday. I'm gonna have the war hat on. Last season, people are asking what am I wearing on my head. Last season, Toby, bless him, got me a seat, but in the Spurs end, and it was Blitz's coldest day ever. Do you remember?
Yeah,
it was the coldest day in history. I want everyone to check that date. It was the coldest day in history. I couldn't, but you know what I mean. And then on top of that, it was a fantastic game. It ended 2-2. But neither of us were overly joyed and or overly sad as well. So, but this week I'm going with my boy Sasito. See you there, man. Inshallah, man. It should be good. Zuberi, last time out,
by the way.
Go on.
I'm just gonna say I agree with everything Fuad said. I think the one key thing is not being half-hearted, and I was guilty of it too. So Fuad, credit to Fuad. Fuad was saying it throughout the summer, because we heard all these names, we heard Bastoni, we heard all of this stuff, and then to finish the window with your only centre-back signing is Longley. Like, the club say, we hear one thing from the club correspondents, and then we see something different from the club. And last year in the summer, it looked like they were getting right. The cash injection, the 2 players they signed in January turned out to be hits. Oh, you start off the season with Perisic and being 2 players signed already, etc., etc. I think if the club with Conte, you've basically said to yourself, we want someone who can get us right back to the top. We don't want a project. We don't want a full-blown project. We want someone who can get us right to the top in half the time that it would take a project manager to get us. So if you want to do that, back him, give him everything possible, because like Fuad has said, every single club this guy's been at, where he's been given his funds, his players, his way of thinking, they always win.
Success comes.
And he doesn't have to be the best team in the league to do that. Maybe it may not be as a foregone conclusion now because of Man City, Liverpool, etc. But at the very least, if you give him what he needs, he's going to have you competing. That's a fact.
What was you going to say, Kev, before we moved on?
I was just going to say, I mean, quite possibly, yeah. But I mean, the standards are so high now. And like, even if they compete, they've got to get that high 90, mid 90, high 90 to win. Because when they get in that challenge, if it's Man City or hopefully it's Liverpool again, the experience of being in that title race for that long, we know how to go at it. So it's got to have a team that's not only got the quality to do it, because I'm sure if he's backed, he will build a team that's got the quality, but they have to be a unit and they have to experience it together so that they can carry through it week in, week out. And that's the thing I'm not sure if they can achieve in the short period of time.
Well, Cav, you like this, compare it to Liverpool. Obviously,
yeah.
Jurgen Klopp, we know Jurgen Klopp is a better manager than Conte, cool. But compare it to Liverpool, yeah? You sold Coutinho in January, you brought in Van Dijk in January, and then you stabilize your defense for the rest of that from that January period until the end of the season. Your defense looked airtight. It looked like you'd solved the problem in your centre back slot, and he built up a good relationship with Matip. And then in the summer, you then signed Fabinho, Alisson, and I can't remember who the other player was. Who was the third player you signed? Who was the third player you signed?
I can't remember, but it was Fabinho, Alisson, and Van Dijk were the three sort of the spine that changed our fortune, so to speak.
Yeah. But there was more. But either way, the point I'm making
is Shaqiri and Keita.
Yeah, you went from a team that finished on around like low 70s to a 97-point team in the space of a year.
Yeah,
simply because you signed
and those players that were signed weren't even like, they were signed from Southampton and Roma. They weren't like world breakers, you know what I mean? But it was the fact that the right coach, the right players, the right system, all buying in. And I think if given and it all works well, if you buy well, it can work well like that. It doesn't always have.
It's funny, isn't it? The fortunes of the two teams after the Champions League final. It was like the season after, we went wild. Do you remember, guys? And Pochettino had that slumber, or whatever you want to call it, a slump. And did he end up? I can't even remember. Did he end up walking, or was he sacked, or was it mutual?
He got sacked. He shouldn't have been sacked, but he got sacked.
It was sacked. But I wanna show you something, Zuberi. The next thing, and I want you to tell me what is this. Can you remember what this is? Well, it's gonna give it away, but can you remember this, Zuberi?
Can you bring that up? That looks
your eyes like mine, yeah.
Champions League final team, isn't it?
Nope.
No, this is the team that played last season.
That's the team, yeah. That's the team that played them last.
Morton in there, yeah. So that's
that's the one I was waiting for you to spot.
Listen, I criticize him tough. He didn't win a header in this game. People saying, "Oh, he's young," and I'm like, "What young got to do with heading the ball?" Like, he wasn't contesting, he wasn't challenging or anything. And then Milner, obviously, those are the two big points I remember from this game. Just midfield looking dry.
This was the first game, right? Because I think the second game was when Diaz played and scored. So yeah, this would have been the first game.
This was the COVID. COVID was kicked in. Virgil was missing, and the whole midfield was missing, and we had to play this pretty much a total scratch midfield. Even Naby Keita wasn't in favor. It was Naby Keita's first game back, and me and Toby were at the game. And it was a proper end-to-end game. Like, Spurs had 3 1-on-1s in the first half. And then we came back in the second half. I was still adamant that we should have had a penalty on Jota, the most blatant penalty you get. It ended up 2-2. We took the lead and it ended up 2-2 after Alisson let Son the ball go through. It was a proper helter-skelter game. Now, not only this team, so look, our team's going to look very different, isn't it, Zuberi? What are you expecting from our team before we get into the Spurs team, how they think they're going to look? What are you expecting from our aspect?
Probably to see Keita again,
You're joking. You're taking a piss.
Some of our players are coming back. So it's gonna be a tough ask to ask some of these guys that's been going really hard in this first half of the season to keep going, like your Elliott. So it's gonna be one of the ones where is this where we rotate some of these guys? So that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm thinking about. It's gonna be an indifferent starting 11. To be fair, I expect to see Khanage in the back, and yeah, I can see a very indifferent midfield. Probably dry as usual, but we'll see.
Cav, as you can tell, this is what brings it. Because Berry hates winning, and after winning, when we're after a loss, he's hyped up that we're gonna smash the next team. But I'm going into this game. I tell you, the only thing that's keeping me confident about this game is because Spurs are a good team, and our performances against the good teams this season have been good, and that's the only thing I've got going for me. Because otherwise, ours is win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly that. Like our better performances have come when we've played some of the better sides, you know, Man City, Napoli, and so on. So yeah, that gives us a little bit of hope. But I mean, fixtures again, I hate playing Tottenham, I must admit, because in years gone by, our system plays exactly into their hands. Like they manage to sit back, nullify our attacks, and then they play the ball up to Kane and have runners, which is usually Son. And the games usually end in draws, but we always need Ali to pull out one-on-one saves and do like absolute genius things, right? So I'm always fearful of playing Spurs. This game is strange because we're inconsistent and Spurs have injuries. So that threat up top maybe isn't there. But then if that means they're going to sit back and be more defensive, that also doesn't help us because we're not good against low blocks and compact teams. So it's really hard to know which way this game's going to pan out. But I suppose if you had a choice, I would rather play them now when they don't have the likes of Son and Kulevski and Richarlison. But I'm still fearful because either way, we want to win this game. We want 3 points. And I just fear that if they go into this game and sit back knowing they've got all the forwards out, then we're probably going to struggle against that.
Zaberi, how do you think this? How do you see this game going from a tactical point of view? From then, in your opinion, then the way we've been setting up, and I know you haven't been a fan of the way we've been setting up, so lay it all out now, I guess. But suddenly we went back to the 4-3-3 in midweek. So knowing how we think Conte is going to set up, especially with the injuries, and we're going to ask Tobes and Fuad to fill us in. How do you approach it from our point of view?
I rate Conte. He's a G. So what he's gonna do is kill us with the anti-football. We're dead. He ain't even gonna try to do anything. What are they gonna do? They ain't got no forward. If I'm Conte, I'm coming in this eight defenders, man, and just put 2 midfield in front of them. Wrap this up. Boring, dry, because that gets under Klopp's skin. And I think when Klopp sees that, he overthinks and he gets a little edgy and he picks the wrong subs. Anti-football kills Klopp tactically. Like, that's his kryptonite. So just set up a team out there and say, yo, stay in your shape. Don't do nothing. If we get a little break, we'll be cautious on it. I don't see Spurs really coming out and playing in our hands. So if you're just thinking off the fixtures, Spurs v Liverpool, you're thinking, oh, good game, they're going to go at each other. Spurs don't really have the players to come at us, really. All of their threats are either out or just not up to par. And they're solid midfield players on paper. Conte ain't really invest in time and momentum in them. So I don't even know how Spurs fans put up with this. You know me, I'm critical of the manager. So I think if Conte won anything, he should be playing for a draw. Straight up, just play for a draw and take a point and then come back at us in the reverse fixtures.
I was at the Anfield fixture and I just couldn't see us scoring. It was a tactical master plan. Because I was literally all of those fixtures in that running, I knew if we beat Spurs, we're going to win the league. Because I knew we're going to win the rest of the games. And everyone to a man knew that Spurs one is the killer fixture. That Spurs one is the killer fixture.
So on that point, let me ask you this, Grizz. So all season, we look like we're struggling to score, barring Bournemouth. That really helped our stat. But going to Spurs, if we don't score and they don't have weapons to really put us to the sword, it's looking like a 0-0 draw all over it. We might huff and puff and just can't get through the 8 defenders and 2 midfielders. Because that's how I see them setting up best. They don't really have to get in either.
The thing is with them Spurs players as well. Like, as much as you guys maybe have criticised the fullbacks and maybe Højbjerg and games and stuff, but if you give them an assignment, and that assignment's to be compact, cut off the passing lanes, and make sure you nullify Liverpool's attack, they will do that well. And that's the worry for me as a Liverpool fan. It's like, for all their criticism, they can do that job, I believe, and shut us out. And then, like Sabiri says, we start panicking and we start doing mad things, and then we get caught out like we've seen against Leeds, you know, where it's a set piece or it's a bit of pressure at the end of the game and stuff. Like, we don't have that inner confidence in ourselves at the minute, if we're not scoring, to just continue and be patient for 90 minutes.
I'm going to bring up...
But I don't know. I still look at it and I'm like, if Romero's not there, Bentancur's not there, they're like almost two anchors, I would look like.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. Fill us in terms of... We'll start between yourselves. Fill us in terms of what you think the setup's going to be and what the lineup's going to be, because all we're hearing is he's out. Surely
there's bare players injured, and I think Bentancur will play, to be honest. I don't think he's actually
okay.
Oh, you reckon he'll World Cup risk it?
Yeah, bro. I think he'll play, man.
Preserving themselves.
Nah, man. Bentancur is not. He's definitely not the type to preserve him.
So what he went? So go on, fill us in. Did he go? Because this is your lineup against Marseille.
Yeah. Right? So Bentancur played 90 minutes against Marseille.
Oh, Bentancur played 90 minutes. So what's the doubt?
He played. No, sorry. I think Skip might have come on late for him.
Yeah,
Skip might have come on late for him. But there's been no news there's been no confirmed news that Bentancur is out. So I expect
he was running to celebrate with Højbjerg. So it was calm.
I expect he'll play. But I'm looking at this game and I heard what like Cav and Zuberi was saying, and it's like, I'm like, okay, yeah, but we have literally no attack right now. Like and we have the last win we had against Liverpool was in 2017. We've lost or drew every single game, even the games we deserve to win. At Anfield, at our ground, there's been one too many games where Spurs should have won on chances.
Winless in 9.
And we haven't won. So I'm looking at this game now, and I'll be real. If I had even just one of Richarlison or Kulusevski that confirmed fit, I'll be backing Spurs to come and get a result here, because I think both of those two can combine with Harry Kane, and we can. I've seen the way you lot have set up this season, even with our vulnerabilities. I think you lot playing up against a counter-attacking side is not what you like based on this season. So I would have backed Spurs to try and get something out of this game, but when I'm seeing no Son, who's out of form, no Richarlison, no Kulusevski, it's difficult, man. Harry Kane is playing every minute. Yeah, Lucas Moura is a huge, significant downgrade on any of those attacking options that I've mentioned. He can't really stretch the game for us. All he wants to do is just get the ball, dribble, run into traffic. He hasn't got an eye for goal. He hasn't got an eye for assist. So you're just looking to yourself like, how are we going to hurt Liverpool in this game? How are we going to hurt Liverpool?
Is this
how are you going to hurt us? I want you to come with a plan.
Is this not the type of game where Gil needs to start? Where
he has to start.
Especially considering the last couple of cameos where he's come on, he's actually been able to be the one, similar like Kulusevski, pick the ball up, drive, create a pass, find patterns of play where other players in our team, I feel like they don't have the profile or the capabilities to do that. So I feel like if we're talking about we're depleted up there, give him his opportunity. The guy's been crying for one, and I feel like he's got enough ability to give him one. So this is where we're saying, this is where I want to see if Conte breaks his stubbornness and actually gives Gil the start, because you're now depleted. If I see Mora starting and no Gil, I'm going to lose my head.
100%.
And in my opinion, I think the way we'll set up is a 3-5-2. We don't have the forward, so it will either be Gil or Mora playing off Kane.
He's going to pick Mora. You know he's going to pick Mora.
More than likely, it's going to be Mora, because I don't think 3-4-3 we have Mora together. So for me,
I want to know your three centre backs. Is it going to be the same three that started in this game?
The same three. It will be the same three.
Mm-hmm.
So Romero's definitely out.
Romero's out.
Sanchez
won't play. He's crap.
No, but I didn't ask that. I know he's crap.
No, he won't play. He won't play because after the Bournemouth game on the weekend, I don't think Conte knew what he was doing when he started with this back three against Marseille, and because of the level of opposition we're playing, he will stick with this back three. I think you'll probably see Sanchez come back into the team when we play someone like Leeds.
Okay. So your back three is going to be now. This is going to be. It's going to frustrate you lot and infuriate you lot by the sounds of it. But your two fullbacks, wing backs.
Perisic will start
left,
and unfortunately, Chicken Royale will start at right wing back.
Is Doherty still out injured?
He's fit.
I'd rather play him.
Do you think he's going to start? Be real. Do you know what Conte is like? And that's what I mean about Conte. It's hard at times to sympathize with him when he keeps picking these poor players. You can't tell. Look at someone like Jed Spence saying, "Oh, you didn't want him." You can't tell me that Jed Spence can't come in and do a better job as a wing back than Chicken Royale. But he's going to.
But he's not. We know Jed Spence not going to come in. I agree. Exactly. I think it's going to go. I think he's Emerson. I think he's going to go with Emerson as well.
100%. Emerson came on and actually had a decent game.
Against Diaz last year. I remember he locked him up.
He did. He had a magnificent game.
Diaz.
Yeah, I hated it, but it was true. He had a magnificent game against Diaz. So this is what I want to know. This is crucial. Are you guys going to go 3 in midfield, or are you going to stay with 2? Because if you go 3, then that means you only got 2 to go up top.
3. He'll go 3 in midfield.
Basuma, Bentancur, and Højbjerg?
Yep.
Lock up. So Zuberi's right, bro. So far, I'm hearing 8 defenders.
Yeah, but Grizz, you say this, but we played a 3-5-2 against you last season, and we pulled you apart.
Which one? The thing
at our ground. At our ground, we played a midfield 3 of Dele Alli, Ndombele, and Harry.
Yeah, but Dele Alli played up front, man. Dele Alli played up front.
No, he didn't play up front, Grizz.
You know what I mean? Off Kane.
He didn't. No, he didn't. He played on the.
He must have been goal hanging in, because every time I saw him, he was in the box. He must have been goal.
No, he made some runs into the box, but he was primarily doing a job defensively on the left side of a 3. So we were playing a transition-based game, but we were getting at.
I'm hating the sound. Calvin Zuberi. I'm hating the sound of that already. Basuma, Højbjerg, and Bentancur. I'm hating the sound of that against our current lads. Right.
I'm loving the fact that there's little threat to our defense, but their defense and how we're going to get through it is just, I'm already pulling my hair out. But I was just going to ask you, Bentancur, is he a good ball carrier? Is he somebody that can bring the ball through midfield? Because I think that's something that's going to be really key. I know you've not got the forwards, but where people have had joy against Liverpool is being able to, when they win the ball back, go beyond our midfielders, and then the space really does open up, especially if Trent's bombed on, especially if, we'll go on to our team, I'm sure, but if Fabinho's playing, you can bypass him, and then suddenly the spaces open up. So Kane might not necessarily play that, drop in deep role. He might be looking actually to get on the shoulder. If somebody like Bentancur can bring the ball through midfield.
And I think this season, that's what we have seen, is him being given more license to get involved. And I think me and Tobes knew the moment we signed, this is the type of player he could be. I think now other fans and other teams' fans are realizing that this guy isn't just a deep lying playmaker or a sitting front of the back 4 type of defensive midfielder. I actually think you probably negate his game if you actually make him the 6, in my opinion. I think the role we put him in as the 8, go all action across the pitch, because he's, I would say, the lead presser in a weird way in our system. Like he actually sometimes gets ahead of Kane and Son and is instigating the press. So for me, I expect him out of that midfield 3 to be the one definitely getting involved more forward and breaking lines, to be honest.
But it's funny though.
With Højbjerg as well.
I was just going to say,
creeping up the pitch and popping up with a few. And if I'm not mistaken, was it last year or the year before? He hit a rocket against you lot as well. So
he scored some really good goals this season. Højbjerg. He scored some really good goals.
He's a clean striker of the ball, and it showed against the Champions League game the other night. Who ended up the furthest man forward? So look, and your strikers are going to be Kane, and are you suggesting Mora? Neither of you are suggesting Mora and Gil, which I think you might do. I think Conte might see the fragility in the Liverpool team and go Kane, Gil, and Mora. I'm just saying he might.
I think second half that might become a tactic.
I think he'll bring on Gil. I don't think he'll start him, annoyingly.
Is there a world where Basuma and Højbjerg sit in the midfield and he plays Bentancur off of Kane, or is that too far advanced for him?
No. That's too experimental for Conte.
Never. I think with the Bentancur point is good as well. I think the benefit of Conte playing the three is in absence of the attacker, he essentially instructs our midfielders, the two exterior midfielders, to get more involved in the attack. And so I do think even though, like Zuberi's saying that we're gonna do anti-football, and yeah, you're right, we'll definitely pick our moments where we'll drop off and try and make it difficult for Liverpool. But I think what you're gonna see is if he does what we did, if he coaches the team the way we did against Southampton, not Southampton, Everton at home, Frankfurt away, Frankfurt at home, I think you're gonna see some of these guys press higher than normal. I think you're gonna see Bentancur be released to try and chase and press the ball. And I think when we're in possession, you're going to definitely see the likes of Bentancur and Højbjerg get more involved in our attacks. Because let's face it, they're going to have to. In the absence of Son, in the absence of Kulusevski, in the absence of Richarlison, we're essentially going to be handicapped. And we need more attacking bodies.
It's time we picked a Liverpool team, guys, to counter this or face this, or defend this, or whatever. We need to go there. For us, it's a 6-pointer. It literally is. I know it's whatever month it is, but it's a 6-pointer. There's close to 400 of you lot in here, man. What, 116 likes? Are you lot taking a piss? Like, did I just get Fuad and Tobes all-star panel, Zuberi all the way from the States, and Cavs' insights for nothing? Like, not even for likes. Are you lot? Anyway, I'm going to read out some super chats while you lot like this, before we get into some more insightful chat. Tahir says, sending a super chat, says, God keep Imran Khan safe. Of course. Prayers and best wishes to my tiger. Bro, man, the sickening attempt at his life in Pakistan. It's not nice, man. It's not nice. This world is crazy. The world is full of sick people, man. I don't get involved in politics too much, but I just pray for everyone's well-being, man, especially that man. Usama Moaki says, despite all the anti-football, I strongly think Spurs are going to take advantage of Trent's side regardless of who's there. See, this is it, Fuad. I know Toby's gone on, but this is it. We're shitting our pants about that side, and you've seen why as well. Every neutral fan's seen that Trent is asleep. He hasn't woken up yet. Trust me, he hasn't. I know people are saying, oh, he's playing a little bit better. I don't think so. Me and Cav were, doing the post-match, and I thought he's still... How are you gonna? So you got Perisic coming from that side. Ain't he gonna want to put one of Moura or Gil out there as well? It would have been Son. We know that for a fact. Who does he replace Son with then in that area? You're on mute. You're teaching me how to do it. This is what I should have done earlier. I know you're teaching me.
I was like, with fucking hell, mate. All right, chill out. Fuck me, bro. Hey, how do you turn this shit silent?
On your Mac, isn't it?
Yeah, bro. It's fucking being off, man. But
tell her calma.
Yeah, bro.
I'm glad you knew it was a hair, Grizz.
Yeah, calma. Come on, man. All them different hairstyles.
Hey, what was it talking about?
I know what's popping. Different style every week. I know what's popping. Yeah. You know when you see one stable, then you know, yeah, man's come. But when it's different hairstyles, different strokes for different folks, yeah.
I thought it's not just me.
Nah. Listen, what I was saying was, with Liverpool, I think this is arguably the best time to play us. That's what I think. I think if Conte would probably be on the kind of defensive side of things because of the injuries we have, but I also think midweek, you lot beating Napoli is kind of a little bit of a, oh shit, could they kind of be turning a corner a little bit? And I'm not saying that means all your players are going to come back alive, but I do feel like it's the kind of game that really boosts a team where Klopp will say, look, Tottenham are down on their luck. This is kind of the time to get them. If I'm not mistaken, it could be your first away win as well.
Yeah, man.
So, everything is there for kind of Liverpool to take it, in my opinion. But for me, it's a case of if Conte kind of tactically master plans as well, we can kind of walk away there, leaving with a result, in my opinion, which I think a draw is something that I'm kind of thinking it will come. But we could capitalize. I think the brave man and the attacking man would. I think Conte in his current situation, seeing his games every 3-4 days, he's not going to take that risk. He's going to say, you know what, I'll use Gil as an impact in the second half, and maybe I'll change it then, but definitely not start with.
I'm going to bring up something, and then in this formation, I think I want us to pick a team. Cav, you recognize this? This was the other day where we were so happy that we've got our shape back. Zuberi, this was our shape against Napoli, and I can't find it now. In fact, I can find it, but I can't be bothered. Compare that to the shape that we had against, who was it? We've got the week before we got Muller. Who was it we were using? Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
Yeah.
Zuberi, the formation and the shape of the team compared to when we played Leeds was like light and day. This was a far more Liverpool-like setup where you got Trent, number 66, there we can see Robertson. Trent's playing slightly withheld now. He doesn't go bombing on. He plays like a inverted fullback. I think we're going to have a similar setup. So I want you to pick me the players that are going to go into this formation. And we can do it together because all three of us are Liverpool fans. So Alisson apart, are we picking Trent again? Are we going with Trent, or is there a hot take somewhere?
If there's a hot take, it could be. Nah, it's Trent. It's Trent.
Go on, what are you going to say?
No, it's Trent. It's Trent, man. Here's the thing. He's going to go Trent. Unless
Gomez?
Yeah, no Gomez, man. It's going to be Trent right back. There's no way Klopp can risk me waking up the rest of the fans to get on his back. He can't risk it. You know I'm on his back. He should go Trent in this game and go Ramsey. We should see Ramsey here.
Ramsey!
But he's not going to do it. And you know I'm going to come for him, Grizz. Watch, I'm going to come for him, you know.
How are you throwing Ramsey in Spurs away? How are you doing that? I want to come for you.
No, because Grizz, we've been dead away. Change something away.
He's seen the Cruyff turn. That's what it is.
Nah, it's not the Cruyff turn. It's new. I've been calling for something new. Milner is it, Grizz. I've been just asking for something new.
No, not Milner.
Lose. Give me Ramsey and we lose. I'll be like, we tried that. But don't give me the same thing and we draw. Don't, because you know this is anti-football to Liverpool. We can't get a result 60 minutes. It's a lot of backstick pass. Even from the center of the pitch, it's just a lot of backstick pass. And that's what Trent does. He's very predictable. We'll do a 1-2 with him, and then he goes along. With Ramsey, that's the element of new. No one has seen that. We don't know what that looks like. It could work, it could not work. We have to go Ramsey here, but Klopp is going to go Trent. He might pull him, 70, 75 minutes and give us Ramsey. But I can't see him pulling Trent and go Ramsey on a 0-0. He might even pull Trent and go a Milner. And then I'm gonna come from again.
That's more likely. Listen, I'm not here for Zuberi's picks today. No, I'm not doing it. We're picking the team Klopp's going to take. Who's the centre backs? For me, there's no question. It's going to be Khanate and Virgil.
Say no more. Yeah.
Robertson definitely comes back at left back. Mm-hmm. Even though Tsimikas was very good against Napoli, I liked him. But this is where it gets whatever in it. What do you think? I think Henderson definitely comes back. Huh?
Thiago and Henderson.
Cav, Thiago Henderson?
Thiago Henderson, yeah, definitely. Fabinho has just been, we've said it, haven't he? He's been all out of sorts. He's continued to play. Henderson got rested against Napoli, so it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Okay, so now what then? The third midfielder, who's it then? Is it Elliott thrown in again?
No, I see Bobby. I think he'll go Bobby right where Bobby is, and then he'll go Carvalho, Nunez, and Salah.
Oh, you're throwing in Carvalho wide left.
Yeah,
not Curtis again.
No, I don't think Curtis have done enough to be getting this amount of time.
See, I wrote down a team earlier, right? And I had that team Zuberi, but I did have Curtis instead of Carvalho. The reason being is I thought he played well against Napoli. Okay. I explained when we did our post-match that he's not necessarily a goal threat, won't get a goal, won't get an assist, but his all-round play will be good. But I put him in there just because I thought he'd be the guy that would do quite well to hang on to the ball and kind of wait for the overlap from Robertson. And I thought that might be a tactic we could deploy. And
if
try.
we're brave, if
Yeah.
Robertson, if we get him overlap with Spurs, yeah.
Exactly. Whereas I think if you play Carvalho in there, he'll tend to drift deep and drift in field a bit too much, and then that opportunity is gone. So I stuck Jones in there. But if we're going with the team we think Klopp will play, I think he goes for the third man in midfield, and I think it would be Elliott. And I know you say, would we play him again? But he didn't start against Napoli.
He didn't start Napoli. You're right.
He's had a bit of a rest.
My bad. I'm going to ask one question to each of you guys. I think our one's going to be very straightforward. But for the Spurs people, I'm going to ask your views on our new boy. I know Toby's. I'm going to come to you, Fuad, first, because me and Toby have spoken about it quite a bit on the Big 6 one now. Darwin Nunez. So much has been spoken about him, and the guy's not even played. What is it? 300 minutes, Cav? Was it in the league or something like that? Not even 300 minutes, I think.
Just over 8 games, it works out. Yeah.
Okay. And the stats are the stats. I think he scored 7 goals or something. But Fuad, I was going to say take away the price, but you can't, because that comes part of the package and that comes part of the pressure. So give me your thoughts on him, what you thought and what you're thinking now, and your prediction forecast for him.
So my thoughts coming in was, start of the season, Liverpool paid way over the odds for a guy who I don't think will ever live up to this price tag. And I think we've seen that with Pepe and Ndombele. A lot of these absorbent fees that do sometimes get paid, players never live up to it. It's just the pressure that comes with the price tag. With him, I just felt like the reason why it might have been too soon is 1 year in the Portuguese league. I felt like you were great. You were very good in the Champions League as well, specifically against the team that's signing you as well. Van Dijk giving you the prop of, listen, you were the hardest opposition I've played against in years. Of course, it's going to sound and look good, but in my opinion, I don't think he's, let me not say all that, but I don't think he's ever going to be that top elite striker purely because of his lack of technical efficiency, shall I say. I think what he is, he's one of those players that I feel like is very chaotic, very physical, very quick. So because he has these other attributes, they will allow him to have chances. He has that dog in him where he'll be able to press defenders and pressure them into mistakes. So he will no doubt get his, I feel like, but it just won't ever be kind of incredible Salah numbers, if you like, or Haaland numbers, in my personal opinion. But I think he will be a useful player. But I think Liverpool paying that money is essentially saying this guy is going to be the future of our franchise. And I don't kind of see that in Darwin Nunez. I think he'll be a good player, but I don't think he will be the guy Liverpool can kind of depend on for the next 5, 6, 7 years for goals. And forecasting this season, I think if he gets 20 goals all comps, well done. I think if he gets anything less than 17, 16, it's not looking good, bruv. So for me, my thing is it's like 18, 19 should be the bare minimum all comps, in my opinion.
I think he's got 8 already.
He's
just
on
putting it out there. 7 goals at 6 different stadiums. Hopefully that's 8 at 7, because that's going to be nice. Tobes, I know what you think of Darwin Nunez. We've had our chats. Who's our danger man? Huh? No. I know. But go on. Say it then. Sorry.
No, I think he's going to be quality for Liverpool.
Klopp has a tendency to get the best out of those types of players.
You know what it is. That's
easiest on the eye.
That's one. But the one thing that shocked me with Nunez, I knew he was a poor technician, but even by his standards, his technique has shocked me this season, or should I say his lack of. But the other thing that shocked me is he's missed like quite a lot of gilt-edged chances this season in comparison to what I had expected, because he looked a really good finisher from some of the stuff I saw at Benfica. But what I do like about Nunez, in spite of some of his detractors, is he is a problem. I remember after the Liverpool game, I watched the highlights yesterday, and I said if he starts on Sunday, he's gonna cause our back line like so many problems. And I do think he's someone that is. I agree with you, and I don't think he'll ever justify the price that Liverpool paid for him. But I think he will be a quality player for Liverpool. I think he's gonna. I reckon at his best, he'll be hitting 2 and 3 for Liverpool in my opinion. I think he'll get 2 and 3. Yeah, I genuinely believe he'll get a 2 and 3 scoring rate at Liverpool, and I would not be shocked if he ended up with a 2 and 3 scoring rate at the end of the season. I wouldn't be.
Wow, we'd be very, very, very happy with that. One of you mentioned chaos. We call him his nickname, the king of chaos already amongst the Liverpool fan base. He's the king of chaos. He comes on. Sometimes he causes chaos in his own headspace. That's the problem. But for opposition, he's a nightmare and a problem. He's already clocked the fastest speed in the Premier League. And if Romero was playing, I would have said penalty. We're destined for a penalty. Because Romero, Argentina versus Uruguay, they wouldn't have been able to control it. Because you know how we speak about those South Americans have got that. This guy is that. Trust me, you guys not gonna. You guys might rile him up. The problem is you guys might rile him up the right way for you guys, so he's off his game. That's what I mean. That's what I mean exactly.
I always think though, Grizz, is it for me personally. I think it's better if you've got a player who you need to harness their kind of attributes rather than someone who you need to fire up. In my opinion, I would always prefer that guy who is overzealous and you have to, contain that rather than the guy who you're like, does he even?
You ain't even gonna build him up. Dele Alli,
prime example. Ndombele.
Yeah. Some people are saying that about Trent now. By the way, Spurs guys, a lot of people are giving the Dele Alli saying like, is he ever gonna fulfill this amazing potential he's got? But Darwin Nunez is a. I'm not saying too much. Look, I agree with both of what they said.
Hey,
I agree.
Do you know what sums him up?
One sec, Cam. And he's had quite a lot of poor games for Liverpool this season as well. He's had some real stinkers for Liverpool. I remember that Crystal Palace game, even before he got sent off, he had an absolute mare, just missing everything.
It was his first game at
Anfield. I get that. But what I'm saying is he's
trying hard.
He's had quite a few smelly games for Liverpool this season, but you're right. He's going to score goals.
Mm-hmm.
But to score 7 goals already in your first season, and you've only started 8 of them.
Very impressive.
Like 8 starts, 7 goals. Mm-hmm. So he's got to have something, especially in a non-functioning Liverpool team. Imagine when the boys are back. Imagine when Thiago's playing on a regular, Jota, Diaz, everyone's back. You guys were talking about your strike force. We ain't got our strike force, We ain't got our strike force back. Jota and Diaz are huge for us. Huge for us. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, guys. I genuinely think it's going to be 1 goal. 1 goal wins it, I'm telling you.
I can't see 1 goal. I can see at least 3 goals in this game. At least 3.
Wow.
I say 1-1.
Okay, you've hit me with a prediction already. Okay, 1-1.
1-1.
Zuberi said 0-0, innit? I know you, innit? I know you. Zuberi 0-0?
Nah, I'm listening to you guys talk about Darwin, man, and
okay, you want to come into Darwin?
Yeah, it finally hit me, I was explaining Drogba to somebody, man, a year or so ago, and I couldn't quite. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man, because he's not like techie. His older play was there, and I'm hearing you guys talk about Nunez, and I'm like, man, he reminds me of Drogba, and he doesn't understand the team, and he's doing.
He doesn't
understand this team.
I ain't gonna leave you Drogba like that.
22 years. Hold on. 22-year-old Drogba was nowhere.
Bro, no. 22-year-old Drogba didn't have.
No, I'm not hearing it. No.
22-year-old Drogba had more tech than this version of Darwin Nunez.
No. Drogba didn't have. Drogba built his game.
Yes, we know that his game. But what I'm saying is the position he built his game from was not as low as Nunez right now. That's what we're saying.
Nah,
disrespecting this guy.
Honestly, Tobes,
he's a Uruguayan international.
He's improved.
I'm talking about his technical quality. Not about. I'm talking
only
about his technical
even that. Watch. Okay, we're gonna see.
So
last day was 24.
You've seen highlights of this guy. You've seen Twitter compilations. This guy is not as mad technically as you guys are making up, but only time will tell.
Listen,
Grizz,
I'm not talking tech for tech. I'm talking chaos.
Yeah, let Zuberi finish his comparison. Sorry.
Listen, I'm talking chaos for chaos.
Yeah.
So the tech Tobes, you got a point, but I'm talking chaos. Drogba was a chaotic striker.
I would liken him closer to Diego Costa more than I would.
But I don't like Costa.
He's much quicker. This is what I'm saying to you. This guy, he burns you.
Fighter, man.
He burns you. He's gone.
Yeah, I'm telling you, not Peckers, but I'm talking about hold up play.
I get you.
Oh, he's up there with Drogba, chaotic. You never know. But he needs to work on his tech, but he's only 22, man. He'll get better.
Yeah, man.
I think his technical abilities have improved. Even in the short amount of games that he's played for us, because when he first came, we said it the other night, Grizz, a ball would be played into him, poor first touch, bouncing off him. He'd try and receive the ball and he's already doing pirouettes. It's like, what the hell is this guy doing? He'd receive the ball and play it blind into space and just give it away. The recent games he's played, Leeds aside, he's controlling it well. He's nodding it down to people. Like, he's actually getting the ball, stopping, and then driving again. And he picks his head up and he's whipping some good balls across. He could have had a few assists in his short times as well.
100%.
So there's already improvement shown there. I get it. When you watch him, he doesn't quite look right. I'm not sure if his legs are too skinny or what, but he don't quite fit, He don't look smooth.
He's 6'3", man.
Yeah. But there is improvement there, and like you said, this ain't with the first teamers, No. This is all off his own back.
For me, it's a little bit of the Lukaku thing. It's like aesthetically, they just will never look right. No matter, and even Lukaku, when we saw him at Inter Milan, at Belgium, there was times where you was like, "Yo, everything's coming off, everything's looking clean," but it still just doesn't look. And I feel like he is just that kind of. I don't say heavy-footed, but that's how I refer to those types.
This is the point. I would agree with you.
Can't help. He might be trying to shift the ball, and all of a sudden the ball's gone out for a corner. I saw him do that in one game, and I was just like I know he doesn't mean to do it, but it's just
he's
the way
improving. I swear to you, he's improving on that, and it won't.
We don't need to swear. We don't need to swear on it. We don't need to swear on it.
He's got this.
He's improving.
He's got a mentality. So no matter what, even if he is not going for him, the fact that he is always willing to go again, I rate that. Yeah, that's hard, because a lot of players crumble after that first move, second move don't come off. It's keep going.
He doesn't understand what anyone's saying to him either.
By the way, he doesn't understand a word of English yet. A word of English, and he said it. I'm struggling to understand, bro. When this guy,
isn't it?
No, it's true. It's just there's no point talking about it. You're right. He has to do it, but do you know what, Fuad? I'm with you, because the Liverpool people in the chat will tell you Grizz is flip-flopped on him. I haven't flip-flopped on him. I said from day one, he's not my striker, my type of striker. And people were like, oh, now you're saying that he's going to smash it. No, I said, but Jurgen Klopp, like Toby said, he's going to make him into an effective striker for Liverpool. He's going to be effective for Liverpool. He's not my style of striker, what I like. I like a different type of striker. Yeah, so like mine's Bobby Firmino, right? But Bobby Firmino won't score the goals, have the impact this guy will have. I'm telling you that for a fact. Over his career, this guy is going to cause chaos, and we're not even utilizing him right yet. When him and Diaz get that link, they've not played up together. They've not even played together. Him and Diaz and Salah are going to be a problem with Diogo as well.
I don't like how Liverpool fans are just glossing over the Bobby remontada this season.
No, we're not.
Listen, I know Darwin's the new shiny toy, but Bobby's cooking this year. Bobby's carrying this year.
But do you know why? And I keep telling Liverpool fans, do you know why? He played the least last season. He's fresh.
Fresh as a daisy.
Guys, honestly,
as well.
he's done well so far. But like I said to you the other night, Grizz, he's done well because he's been the ghost man. He's played in that 10 position when we've gone 4 up top and everyone's concentrating on Salah and Nunez, and he's getting into areas and no one's picking him up. And in fairness, his finishing has improved in them games, but to be honest, he's not the guy for the rest of the season.
No, for long term, no. I'm not buying it. Yeah, Fuad, trust me, Bobby's our legend. We love him, but trust me, he's not the guy going forward.
Excuse me?
He's not the guy going forward.
This individual here should be banned from all chats.
No. You're going to see. I brought up for a reason. You're going to see. Give him 6 months to a year.
Oh! Yeah. Yo, I was joking about that on Stoppage Time the other day. I said, there's a voice in the back of Darwin's head. Evil Kermit. It's like, go on. You're in the half turn. You're Suarez. Shoot. You can... No, he's not.
You're
Stop.
looking at the price.
Well,
You're looking at the price.
That's where you lot set him up for failure. Liverpool fans with the Haaland shit start of the season. Now you lot are gonna start putting him on this Cavani Suarez pedestal.
Bro,
let him grow.
Listen, someone said the other day, someone said in the chat, I can't find it now, man. Big up everyone in the chat. There's 450 of you, but still not even 200 likes. So you lot are, some of you lot are wusses anyway. So I'm not even talking to half of you. The other half, you big up yourselves. The others, if you want me to talk to you, like the stream in it. Someone was saying, who gives a shit about blah, 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 when you just score goals. And this is what this guy is going to do. He's one of those guys that can't give a shit about what his FIFA card rating is going to be every year. He's just going to bag. And that's what I want. Liverpool needed this, you know, because we relied on Salah. And you know how Salah still, to certain mans out in the universe, ain't nothing. We needed Salah's coming to the end of his not looking good, but smashing goals records every season. We need someone else who's not going to look good, but smash goals records every season. This guy is going to smash goals. Of course, he's not Haaland. Of course, he's not. Haaland is polished. But when this guy gets up to speed, Tony says, up the Spurs, but big up Grizz uncle. Yeah, up the Spurs. Yeah, okay, Tony Starks, man. Big up yourself. Hope you get smashed on Sunday still. Prediction, Zuberi, you didn't give me a prediction.
Yeah, the goal is gonna look slim, man. But if Darwin start, that's chaos. Chaos can bring 2 goals.
He's gonna start. 100%. He's gonna start.
If he start, I can see us pulling 2 goals through him. Besides that, it's tough. So I'll say Darwin 2-0. Spurs, I don't think they're gonna touch us.
Oh shit! I love the way Zuberi switches it. Like at the start of the scene, people are gonna think, yeah, Zuberi's doing that shit again. That he thinks we're gonna get smashed.
No, man. It's like I said, when you man was talking about Darwin, man, I'm just like, that could be what saves us, along with Bobby coasting through, because Bobby's going under the radar for real, but Darwin is exactly what we need in this game.
I'm not sure Bobby's gonna start. You know,
I don't think so either. But if Nunez start, man, that's the type of chaos that's gonna break down these anti-football. You know. What better way to break up the anti-football than just drop some chaos in it? And that's all we've been saying. We're not lording them like all of them. We're just saying, yo, our man is chaos. And chaos in the box gets a penalty or a goal. That's all I'm saying. And that's all we need.
100%. AM says only rival fans trying to gas Darwin like that. I don't know. Salah is not world-class. Accepted it. I've accepted it, man, that he's not world-class, man. I've accepted it. You happy? Yeah, let him. I love it. Yes. Salah's not world class. Accept it. I've accepted it, bro. I accepted that you don't know shit. Kev.
Well, this is bad timing because I was gonna say the guy we ain't mentioned is still the guy, and that's Salah. So
one mention. I was waiting for these brothers to mention him. Not even they haven't. Like I mentioned, Kane, Son. I bigged up their players. Not one of them has mentioned Salah. Not one of them.
Yeah, we know what it is with Salah though, but. Salah is always odds on to score goals, but I think in recent games against Spurs, Salah's not really been that effective. I'll be real. He played against us last season. Both times he was poor, but I'm not saying that as an excuse to say that he won't score again. It's just Salah, innit? We know he's always going to be a goal threat. There's just some names you don't have to emphasize. Mo Salah is always going to be.
He was very poor. The game that we went to, with the game we went to, who was it? We bigged him up. He put him in his pocket. Sessegnon had a mad game against him. I remember, 100%. Cav, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think we win 1-0. I think Salah scores a pen. I just think it's going to be so tight. I think it's gonna look like it's going out to a 0-0. But I think that there's a mistake in one of the Spurs' defenders. I think they'll maybe just give away a penalty and Salah will tuck it away. But I don't think there'll be goals. I really don't think there will be. I think if there is, that it'll only be a 1 goal in it. No one's going to go clear. So I'm just hoping it's our boys.
Tobes, what's your final prediction?
I need to see.
You can change you on the big 6. Relax. I'm not going to hold.
No. It's not even about changing. I need to see if the team stays as is and at least one of those 3 attackers that are currently out injured in Son, Kulusevski, and Richie. Son's obviously not going to play, so I'm basically talking Richie and Kulu. If none of those guys play,
I heard Kulu's training, guys. Are you not doing some mad mind games with us?
No, he trained when we played Bournemouth. He was doing some pitch side
Yeah.
training. He wasn't in the squad though. He wasn't in the squad. So they're saying that.
Yeah, but that was a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't think he. From what it sounds like, he's not ready to play yet. So they're saying that potentially he might be ready for the Leeds game, innit? But I think if the team stays as is today, and these players are out, I think we're going to lose this game personally, which is annoying. I think we're going to lose this game. If we get one of those attackers, I think we're going to win. So yeah.
So one attacker put you into win?
Yeah, it does. It does, because I think it alters our game plan significantly. It really does. It really does for me.
I need a prediction, man. You ain't doing your Turkish one.
Yeah. As it stands now, I think Spurs will lose this game 2-1.
Oh, so no clean sheet. Okay.
Forward.
I'm going 1-1 draw. I think we try and grind out something, and possibly a set piece or Harry Kane comes up.
You know what? Have you seen us playing? Have you seen us playing football?
Yeah, but look at our injuries, Grizz. Look at our injuries. We literally have no attacker apart from Kane. Look at us.
Grizz, your mate's back. What are you on about? It's a clean sheet all day. Your mate's back.
Yeah, that's my dog right there, man.
Mr.
Khanage. You know.
That's the guy right there.
You know. Khanage.
We're gonna get a little comp after the game.
Conte, man. I don't want to speak too much because I've been burnt in the last couple of weeks, you understand? So I don't want to say too much. That's why I got you guys to make the big predictions. Azam sends in the super says, big up Fuad and Tobes. I think Liverpool win 3-0. We play the worst football in Europe right now and we'll get punished on Sunday. Yo, what's this, man?
Listen, big teams, we ain't done well this year, man.
And nor have we. We ain't one away from home.
We need a reaction. Score. That's the thing, but we just need the players, man. Oh, I wish we had.
It looks like both of us under both sets of fans under stress.
If we had just Kulu, I would back us to win,
bro.
If we had Jota playing, I would be so confident. I would be so confident. Diogo Jota, you lot see? That's what I'm saying. You're looking dragbacks again, innit? That's what I mean about you lot, man. You're looking dragbacks and step overs. Diogo Jota is a machine, man.
The little heading guy.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He's never. Rival fans are never gonna realize what this guy is. Honestly,
I can't lie to you. I love Jota, but I just know Liverpool.
The little heading guy.
Well, listen, wait, that header last season, that was, and you know what? That was the most blatant penalty. Emerson Royale just went in the back of him like an idiot, boy. But listen, war hat is on. Because cold nights are here, dark nights are here. Sunday, what time is it? 4:30 kickoff.
Prime time.
Yeah, this time I'm going to be sitting with the Liverpool. And maybe last season we didn't win because I was sitting in the.
No, last
what
season
stand?
we didn't win.
Tobes, what end? What stand's that called in your place?
North. So that's in between North and East.
Yeah. I mean, lovely stadium, magnificent stadium. But I'm going to be sitting with the fandom. I think it's going to be a crackingly tense game, tactical battle, both coaches. I don't see it exciting. I don't see none of that, what Tobes thinks, there's going to be 3 goals minimum and shit. I think it's 1 goal wins it. I genuinely think 1 mistake, 1 moment of magic, 1 something missed, or even 1 substitute. 1 substitute comes on and wins it. I'm not going to give a prediction yet. I'm like Toby, I'm going to be just holding it tight. But guys, Toby, Fuad, man, big up yourselves. Thank you very much for coming on, man. It's been wicked chatting to you as usual. Zuberi, Cav, we're going to chat in a bit soon anyway. Pre-match carnage is over. Let the real carnage begin on Sunday, 4:30. Over and out. Take care.